Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down one of the most powerful tools modern companies use to find their next big thing. We're talking about the process that can turn a simple online comment, maybe even a comment you made, into a real product on a shelf.
I mean, these guys were absolute giants, right? Titans in their fields. But they all share a cautionary tale. They're a huge reminder of the one thing every single business has to do to survive in today's world.
And that brings us straight to our first and maybe most important point: the relentless, non-stop need for innovation.
And look, it really is that simple. It's a fundamental rule of the game now. If you aren't actively trying to create the future, you can bet that someone else is. And they might just be designing a future where your business doesn't even exist anymore.
But, here's the thing. Innovation isn't just one big, simple thing. It actually comes in several different and really important flavors.
Okay, so let's dig into this chart here. You can map out innovation across two key areas: the technology you use and your business model. This gives you four distinct types. First up, routine innovation. This is your classic new iPhone, right? The tech and business model are basically the same, just a little better. Then things get interesting with disruptive innovation. This is where you keep the tech but completely flip the business model on its head. Google's Android OS is the perfect example. The tech wasn't a crazy leap, but offering it for free, that totally upended the mobile industry. Radical innovation is kind of the opposite. A massive tech breakthrough, but sold the same old way. Think about the early days of biotech. And finally, you've got the whole shebang: architectural innovation. This is when you change everything, the tech and the business model. It's the massive pivot Kodak had to make from film to digital.
So this pressure to innovate, it's not new. It's always been there. But the tools we have to actually pull it off, oh man, they have been completely and utterly transformed.
Just take a look at this timeline. You can literally see how things have sped up. We went from steam to electricity to the internet, and bam, here we are in what people call the fourth industrial revolution. And things like AI, social media, and all this connectivity, these are the new engines driving everything forward.
Okay, so the big question is, how do companies actually grab a hold of all this new digital power? Well, a lot of them use this really smart, surprisingly elegant model called the Open Innovation Funnel. And here's the key idea behind it. Companies don't have to be stuck inside their own little R&D bubble anymore. Open innovation means they can tap into a worldwide network of ideas, and social media is one of the richest sources out there. You're basically turning your audience into part of the creative team. And yeah, it works exactly like it sounds, like a funnel. You start up at the wide end, just scooping up tons of raw, unfiltered ideas from everywhere. Then you move through these structured stages, filtering and refining, until at the very bottom, only the absolute best, most solid product idea makes it all the way through.
All right, so that's the theory. Sounds pretty good, right? But what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's go through it stage by stage with some real examples.
So let's start at the top of the funnel. Stage 1, ideation. A great example is UNAIDS. Instead of just sitting in a boardroom guessing what young people wanted, they went straight to them on Facebook and Twitter to get ideas from a global network of activists. And get this one number shows you just how powerful that is. By using social media this way, they saw an 80% increase in the size of their activist ideation network. I mean, that is just a huge flood of new ideas coming in. Okay, so moving down the funnel to stage 2. Research and development. The candy company Roundtrees did something really clever. They used super simple Facebook features, we're talking polls and discussion threads, to test new concepts and get feedback from their customers instantly.
And check out the result on their bottom line. Just by using social media as their research lab, Roundtrees cut their market research costs by half, 50%. That's a ton of money they can now use for other things.
All right, and finally we get to the bottom of the funnel, stage 3, commercialization. The launch. KitKat did this perfectly. They used their own fan page, their own community, to promote new flavors and sell them directly to an audience that was already excited about it.
And as you can see, the results were pretty amazing. They got a 50% boost in brand engagement. But more importantly, it translated to actual sales, an 8% jump in market penetration for their target group. That's the holy grail, right? Turning fans into not just customers, but advocates. Okay, so let's zoom out. We've seen the theory, we've seen the real-world examples. What's the big takeaway here? What does this all really mean?
At the end of the day, the really big idea here is that social media, when you use it with a smart framework like this innovation funnel, completely changes the game.
It transforms innovation from this secret, closed-off process into something open and collaborative. You're not just selling to customers anymore, you're creating with them.
Which leaves us with a really cool thought to wrap up. The next time you're scrolling and you drop a comment or you share an idea about a product, just remember this. That little piece of feedback from you, that casual post, could be the tiny spark that ignites tomorrow's next breakthrough product.